Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the last episode of Season 1 for Planetbase here on Not Your Professional Walkthroughs channel with me, your host Max. I know. Planetbase is currently like the most popular series here on the channel, so I'm gonna definitely try to somehow keep it alive. But we ran into few things which I kind of am currently struggling with, and I do appreciate the feedback in the comment section. So definitely keep it coming. It's just currently with the amount of food we are sitting on, we have people dying despite the fact that they should be able to create plenty of meals out of the vegetables, even if we are sitting on like 65 units of the vitro meat. So one of the main reasons why I have decided that we are gonna finish off the Mars-like planet is that basically I was able to like reach the edge of the map, which kind of put a lot of struggle regarding some of my future expansion plans, and I realized that some of the episodes are just like me talking constantly about complete nonsense or just trying to put out some idea or some train of thought, and it just sometimes doesn't work out as I would hope for it to. And I swear to God, this is driving me up the wall because I'm losing people here, and it's stupid. So anyhow, I have decided that I'm gonna try to tackle the ice planet for the second season. The thing is that I've been looking over YouTube for some potential tips video, and I saw stuff which was like 4 years old, so I'm not exactly sure if I will be able to utilize that as the game has undergone some changes. Now I'm quite sure it's not as many changes. Son of a gun, will you stop dying of starvation while I'm trying to talk? Like, if you are hungry, then stop walking around here. We have other biodomes. Look at all this food. Just take the damn food. Okay, so anyhow, as I was saying, I'm gonna try to play through the ice planet. I personally never had too much success due to the fact that there is a reduction of the efficiency on the solar panels. The sandstorms are replaced with like blizzards. I'm gonna have to see if what I will start to build will eventually become the second season. I still cannot believe that I was able to push this into like episode 20, and so far, yes, I know that our colony is kind of dying of starvation despite sitting on a crap ton of food. I cannot say it differently. I'm sorry for the cursing, but god damn it. So as I was saying, the stuff which I found was a bit older. Also the tips and playthroughs were older, so I'm not really sure how much the game has changed since those times. I currently know that the studio behind Planetbase is currently more pumping out content and updates for the Age of Dawn or Dawn of the Man, or what's the game called, and therefore we're not gonna see too many balanced stuff which will come out for this game. And honestly, the main issues which I keep running into, and I swear if you won't freaking stop dying, are the AI. Honestly, the biggest problem which I keep running into, and I swear to God, if I'm gonna speed up the damn footage, most of them are gonna die of starvation anyhow, is the fact that the AI is just doing ridiculously stupid stuff and is kind of refusing to do the things which normal AIs would do. So compared to the other game from the studio, like the Dawn of the Man, where I played that game, even if I have much lower stats or reserves of food, my colony or tribe is perfectly capable of sustaining themselves, even if, for example, the berries which I harvest wither inside of the granary because we kept them there since the summer and now it's winter or something like this. So the AI and the management of some of the inventory is much more properly tweaked. And here I still feel like, since this was the first title from the studio, there might be some aftershocks of certain I don't know, coding issues or whatever. I did not really look into some mods which might help me improve the AI or do God knows what. So due to the fact that I have just lost like additional 10 to 15 people of the colony, and despite the fact that at the end of the previous episode or during the previous episode, I tried to like run the damn game for, I think it was like 5 days or so, and none of the ships with the colonists were even willing to arrive. So it seems like one of the old bugs which was present in the game, especially when I picked it up and started to play this, that's before I had the channel. It's just from time to time the ships just stop arriving, and once you stop receiving new colonists, you cannot grow, and therefore even if you expand or create more buildings, the whole concept just falls apart on itself because you have built more constructions, therefore you have extended the use of the energy. You are trying to somehow maintain all of these buildings, but it's just not working for you. And yeah, so definitely I'm gonna try to bring you the ice planet. I'm gonna see how soon I will be able to make it, because honestly I can try to potentially like drop an episode or the intro for the ice planet like on the day when this episode will air, so that we can start off the second season or something. But with the fact that I'm trying to cover multiple titles at the same time, I have currently finished off like Graveyard Keeper and Valiant Hearts, and I'm not really sure what other titles I will be able to squeeze in because, like I said, limited hardware. Currently the video quality should be good because I'm not moving too much around, so hopefully that's gonna improve. I have learned quite a lot of things while editing the footage, so hopefully, despite the lack of better hardware, I'm gonna be able to provide at least some form of quality content for the channel, so that we have something to enjoy and something to watch while I try to bring you or come up with something brand new for the channel which you might enjoy as well. It's kind of difficult because, to be perfectly honest, I came up with certain things which I think are do's, I came up with certain things which I think are don'ts, but at the end of the day, I'm not really sure if I'm still fully capable, even at the current situation and my current experience with the game, like put together a video where I would exactly say, okay, if you wanna, let's say, get to a certain point, you need to follow these steps. It's unfortunately impossible to exactly like provide such a specific scenario or such a specific walkthrough, just due to the simple fact that the random generation is gonna affect a lot of things. So even if I would, let's say, do the second season on the ice planet, what we might come across is that I'm gonna like write down into the description of the video the specific place where I try to land on the planet. So you will try to land at the same place and you will try to run the colony on your own. And basically we will all run into differently randomly generated situations. So for example, I might get the blizzard sooner than you, you might get the blizzard later. Things might change stuff can happen. So due to the RNG being introduced into the overall mechanics with some of the features, it's gonna affect a whole lot of things. But like I said, we are currently over 100 people. The peak of the colony was the 200 colonists, and that's when all this food shortage started to pop up and we started to run into all sorts of issues. So I'm not really sure if it's the fact that I'm trying to maintain these massive biodomes, which are just basically unmanageable for each of the goddamn biologists, because honestly, like, they are having less issue trying to manage the tissue synthesizers, but due to how the meal makers are set up, if we go into like the details and we try to make some meals, you will see that basically, let's take a look at it. Trying to look up the recipes, but kind of not wanting me to see it. Hold on. Okay, so here we go. So when you are growing just the crops, you are capable of producing the ingredients which you require for dishes like pasta and so on. But if you want to make some more nutritious meal, you need the synthesized tissue, which can be cooked as well. So that is why I'm trying to like have the laboratories so that they can provide us with plenty of meals. But despite the fact that I am sitting on like 6 or 7 biodomes, which should be properly managed, because we have mostly biologists at the colony currently due to especially the heavy losses from starvation, they are still unable to manage the food production, which makes me think that either the biodomes needs to be constantly set up so that they are high priority, or that we will need to try and just keep on building the smaller biodomes. So instead of going completely massive, right, so like the 10 times 10 where you can squeeze in like 16 of the plants, what we might have to do is just go with the 5 times 5 or like 7 times 7 and keep it at that level, because honestly, look at this. Despite the fact that we have tomatoes here, they are perfectly capable of managing these crops. If we lose too many biologists, what will happen is that they will just not be able to manage the crops. And if they are unable to manage the crops, then the crops will basically get into this form of, I'm not really sure if I can call it decay, but basically if the conditions are very poor, this is slowing down the production rate. So if it's in the red zone, it's just never gonna produce anything for you. And usually at the start of the colony, what you will come across is the fact that most of your colony quits or finishes due to starvation. We're gonna definitely try to address that. I'm trying to put honestly together some form of a plan of how I will try to make the colony work, but I cannot guarantee just about anything. Like I said, I'm gonna definitely try to bring more content regarding Planetbase, because I'm a because you seem to be enjoying it. I don't mind creating the content as well, since it's so positively received, despite the fact that you guys are showing me stats of gameplays that I cannot even fathom to come close to. I mean, you have like 300 colonists and keep them super happy. Yeah, that's just not gonna happen. I'm not salty, I'm just saying. I don't think that I still have enough information from the game in order to efficiently use the information into like a more usable colony. What I have picked up from the experience is that I will definitely try to make at least one or two airlocks for each of these starports so that whenever we are trying to trade, we can ditch like the storage, which is just filling up our storage like super crazy. I mean, what the hell am I even supposed to do with all this storage? And of course, you're gonna hit the freaking bar and kill 9 people. It's not like there is a laser that is perfectly charged and manned. No, you're just gonna kill 9 people. That's just. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm calm. I'm calm. So, yeah, I mean, as you can see, I have the ship for the colonists set up. I'm not really sure if due to the fact that I have the antennas, this is supposed to somehow affect the new colonists to be arriving. But I think that's just stupid because even without the antennas, the ships were arriving constantly and I was just unable to get any more people. And if I'm not getting any more people and I'm sitting on this much of a massive base, then I really don't think there is too much of a point for me to try and do anything else. Especially since the meteorites are falling and almost killing the colony, despite the fact that there's a laser right next to it. But yeah, this is the invisible wall into which we ran on the end of the last episode, which kind of totally made my plan to like build around this mountain here and connect these two ends into like one nice colony. It's just impossible to be done, which sucks because this way, this biome dome is now like the weak link in the 2 branches that go either in here or here. And I'm sorry if the video is like too blurry. I'm gonna try to move it a bit slower so that my laptop won't blow up or OBS won't totally screw up. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna see if I can manage to do the ice planet. It will definitely provide us with whole new challenges, especially because the solar panels are working on less of a efficiency, and this planet is great in the fact that during the day you are guaranteed to have energy from the solar panels, and during night, if you build enough wind turbines, if the wind picks up, you should be perfectly fine to restock or recharge your batteries. And that might be a big downfall, especially on the start of the new game, as if we don't manage to build certain parts of the colony fast enough, we might basically get a blackout. If we don't have the juice to run the oxygen generator, everyone within will die of suffocation. And yeah, so I'm gonna definitely try to see. I might try to make like at least 2 episodes so that I can upload them on the channel, so that I know that the colony will at least survive somewhat or somehow for a bit longer. So we will definitely try to play around with that. But yeah, if you're gonna be subscribed or you're gonna make sure that the notifications are set up, you're gonna see when the Planetbase will be uploaded on the channel. So usually my thumbnails are super hard to miss. They are like the page of 9gag that nobody goes to visit for the really, really bad memes. So yeah, it's kind of hard to miss, but yeah, I'm gonna see what can be done. It's kind of a shame that I'm trying to like say bye to this colony, but unless the freaking ships with more people would decide to freaking show up, and do just about anything, then I really don't know what the heck can I do here. Let's try switching maybe the percentages. Maybe that's gonna change the mind of the game. I don't know. Like for the last 3 episodes, I can guarantee you that we did not get any freaking ship with colonists. I even tried to get a ship with the visitors, but they just weren't interested at all to show up, and therefore I'm gonna have to like think of something to do or try to read up on what might be causing the glitch or the bug or the cause behind no more colonists popping in here to do their part to make the colony great again. So yeah, I think 20 episodes for season 1 is more than I could have expected to honestly put together. I am actually quite surprised that I was able to get so many achievements throughout the playthrough, so if you are interested to know what they are, you can go watch the channel or the playlist. Usually at the end of this video you should see the link to it anyhow, so I'm not really sure how long this episode will be because the colony is somewhat maintaining itself, but yeah, it's definitely a bit of a more dysfunctional anthill at this place, or at this time, due to the lack of the workforce, which I would definitely need in order to help me out, because some of these things are managed quite well and some of them are not. So probably one of the main issues which I have caused myself might be the fact that I've tried like branching out into the edges, and like the core of the colony, which is this place, is where most of the colonists still tend to hang around. And I feel like due to the fact that we have only like 1, 2, 3 biodomes here, they are just unable to supply the meal makers or the drink machines so that the colonists can survive. I mean, I had to redo this entire starting part of the colony, like build here another oxygen generator, and if you recall, this is where we kept like the solar panels or like the water extractor, but right now there are 2 cantinas. There is the security center so that we can potentially block off any of the armed people who are trying to shoot up our colony. But yeah, over the period of time while I'm talking, we have lost like 7 robots, we have lost like 15 colonists at least, and I am not really excited about that. I really do enjoy the game, don't get me wrong, it's really beautiful and it provides you with challenges, which is why you're gonna get lots of replay value out of it, because it's gonna take you a bit to get to learn the in-game mechanics. I mean, for example, if I try to play freaking Frostpunk, I don't think I ever beat the game. Any of the challenges. I don't even own all of the DLCs, because if I cannot beat the base game on its own, what's the point of me getting all the added content, right? And yeah, I actually did try to record the Frostpunk here for the channel. The laptop almost blew up, so I'm gonna have to probably build a better system before I will be able to try my hand on something else. But yeah, maybe we can try something else which might draw in some more colonists. Not really sure. I mean, we have the building materials. Look, even if I would like try to put this weird slab of whatever we might call it, I mean, the monolith requires, for Christ's sake, 10 of the semiconductors, and this is one of the things which I'm not sure if I ever properly addressed. So currently we are sitting on like 22 engineers, but the thing is that Our peak was maybe around like 30. So I usually try to like prioritize the workers and biologists at the start of the game in order to provide us with the ore, metal, the bioplastic, and the biologists for the food and the starch so that we can have the bioplastic produced by the workers. Eventually switching to like guards or engineers in order to maintain the structures and so on and so on. The thing is that I never felt we were ever able to fully utilize the engineers, and I'm not really sure if this is like due to the fact that we are either inefficient in productivity of the materials, or I need a different percentages between the population classes. So, for example, not to prioritize as many biologists, but I mean, like I said, we have gone from what, like 70 and 70 to now 211 and 153 and only 37 meals. So I'm not sure where is the issue. So I'm gonna probably try to see if by running smaller domes will be more efficient, because by having smaller domes, I should ensure that more people will be able to access like the metal processor or the bioblast processor or the crops in the biodome. And we are getting another fucking sandstorm. So this is gonna be kind of a interesting thing for me to try and figure out. We are missing some stupid amount of metal, but I mean, if we have 92 pieces of ore, then obviously something is wrong. Like, sure, the driller robots are doing all the drilling, so I'm really thankful that I was able to pick them up, but like I said, I was able to get to certain numbers, but I kind of overdid it with the driller robots, and I'm quite sure that I should probably try to prioritize the carrier robots. So I'm gonna try to ship the productivity on the second season for another class, and I'm gonna try to see if changing around the overall statistics or the classes or building these smaller domes might be the way to go. The smaller dome will consume less electricity, less water, and will maintain or be able to house less people. Therefore, I'm thinking it's gonna also require less oxygen. So I'm not really sure if we're gonna just like fill in the map much faster or how it's gonna work, but we're gonna try to figure out something in order to accommodate the colony on the Frost planet and therefore make sure that we can survive. So yeah, overall, I'm not really sure if there are like 4 planets available currently for Planetbase. So we're starting off with like the Mars planet, then there's the ice planet, then there's something like the storm planet, if I recall correctly, and the last one should have these like puddles or lakes or something on the open floor, which is preventing you to build. So I can understand how that might cause some issues. Plus, with the possibility of solar flares and other types of conditions which might affect your playstyle or the overall health of the colony. Who knows how things might change. How is this weird thing looking? Okay, we are missing that one last piece of the semiconductor. We are almost completely out of spare parts. Now the thing is here that even if I would start to shut down the freaking mines, I'm not really sure it's gonna change anything because the production of the metal is not affected by the driller robots. That's just gonna bring us the ore, which means that the workers themselves are responsible for turning it into the metal pieces. And yeah, the whole production chain is kind of a struggle for me still. I mean, how can we be sitting on 451 pieces of starch and have just 24 bioplastic, you know? And I'm quite sure that it's not caused due to the fact that I have like only one of the processing plants around here. So I'm gonna definitely have to try to think of some layout which might work better for the colony. Okay, so the monolith has been reached. I'm not really sure if the prestige will do just about goddamn anything for the overall effects of our colony. Sure, we are now at 518, but the welfare keeps jumping from good to poor. Once again, we are at 200 pieces of the inventory for the food, but there is almost nothing in the meal makers, and I feel like this is just gonna kill us eventually because everyone's gonna get hungry at the same time because they all work for the same shift pattern. So they work throughout the day, then they go to sleep. When they wake up, they are all hungry, which is when they are trying to eat. And if nothing is in the meal makers, then they're just gonna lay down and die, and that's it. So I'm gonna have to think of some form of a layout which might be most efficient for us. Honestly, I would love to start off the new colony by, let's say, building an airlock, then oxygen generator, then security center. But at the start of the game, when we have lack of resources, this is obviously impossible. And since we cannot deconstruct the goddamn landing pad, I'm not really sure how to work with this. I've even tried connecting these structures together. Like, even if I would do this and get disconnected, we still cannot take apart the landing pad, which is why I also kind of regret constructing a starport in here, since we have only a single airlock. And if I would try to squeeze in a second one, I would need to put away the telescope, the laser, and try to put in another one, which would like deconstruct one of the armories and some of these security consoles. So not really sure how to kind of address this. So yeah, I'm gonna try to see if by the second season I will become much more efficient. Obviously, it's gonna depend from the place where I land, how much of a successful start will I have, because even this was not done on the first attempt that I just installed Planetbase after like 2 years of not playing it, and suddenly somehow I managed to get to episode number 20. Maybe it's mostly because I keep talking like this about the game and trying to mostly provide some form of content except of the visual aspect of the video. That is probably the most important thing. The music of the game is obviously really nice, so if I could get this soundtrack, I would be actually really happy, but that's a topic for a different video. So I'm gonna see how soon or how efficiently I will be able to process the other planet and what challenges we might be facing off. Now, the biggest problem which you are facing, especially at the start of the ice planet versus the original planet, is the fact that you don't have as many colonists at the start or as many robots, and the lack of the workforce might affect your plans, and you will try to shift your focus towards certain things, like getting your biologist or getting some freaking medic or just about anything which will get the colony up and running and making it into the self-sustaining colony or self-sufficient colony that we can then later expand upon. But so far, I really think that probably if I would not have the oxygen generator, the dorm here, if I would be able to squeeze in like another biodomes, which would facilitate the colonists, we would just have more efficiency, because I have figured out that if I try to cram in so many domes, one next to each other, this is like the heart of the colony. So this is where most of the colonists will stay throughout the rest of the playthrough. So if I try to squeeze in plenty of the biodomes, if I try to squeeze in plenty of the cantinas, it might work. So for example, if we would take this biodome and this biodome and this biodome, and we would shift this completely. So for example, we would start off with biodome, we would then go into cantina, we would here put a processing plant because the storage. Here we can have, let's say, 2 connections to build the storage. Then from the storage we can have, let's say, point to another cantina. Through here we can connect to another dome, then to another dome, and to another dome, and just basically make some form of a system where the corners or the edges are the biodomes, which are able to supply the cantinas, so that since they are going to be roaming around here and have the priorities on working, let's say, the processing plant or the security center, so that the telescopes are manned, we might be more efficient. But even I cannot predict what will be the overall plan and if this would actually work. To be perfectly honest, some of the edges of the map tend to work out more efficiently than the open areas. I feel like because we have so many people moving around here, that is one of the main issues. So maybe trying to like squeeze in a place like this might not be the most efficient use. Maybe trying to build a long snake from like point A over down there to like point B, which would be this long string of domes, it just might be more efficient. I don't know. I never was able to get this far and get some of these achievements. So hard to say if there is a guaranteed way, and as I keep playing this freaking game, there's not a single colonist ship arriving, so I'm just gonna shut it down and I'm gonna let in at least some freaking traders arrive, and I guarantee you in a minute we're gonna see a freaking ship land. So like I said, I'm not really sure if this is the most efficient use of the space, because if we would go over here, despite the fact that this is the edge of the map, this is really well supplied. The storage is completely full of storage, which means that something must be supplying it with whatever is produced from this biodome over here. And despite this biodome being at the edge of the map, they keep showing up. But look at this. We have these processors nicely stacked. Nobody shows up. But we have the mine, and the robots will show up. So I'm not really sure if I really need to keep all the buildings on high priority, or what in the hell am I supposed to do? So since there is like a not exactly guaranteed way for me to make sure that the colony will survive, I'm gonna have to probably do a test run and see how it turns out. If I am feeling confident about how it turns out or how it's starting to look like, I might then try to record content for the channel and of course upload it so that you have some more fun content to watch. I really do appreciate any tips or feedback in the comment section. I actually do tend to read them. Uh, and yeah, colonists are not arriving, trading ships are not arriving, we have lost stupid amount of people, and because no more ships are willing to land here, hey, you have landed, yeah. So I feel like a completely broken record, so I do apologize for that. Obviously, it's not my intention to just keep crying about the spilled milk, but I am observant. I am watching this, and since I have to watch each episode like 3 times because I record this, so I see what happens, then I'm editing the footage, so I see the stuff again, and then the third time potentially if I'm uploading it on the channel to see if no issues were raised by YouTube while the content has been uploaded, because I swear to God, the worst thing about the platform, which I came across in my year or so uploading content on the platform, is that the video might suddenly run into a crash while it's being uploaded, or it just will stop being uploaded onto the platform. So imagine that you are at 95% and it's gonna stop, and you think to yourself, okay, so maybe you're just gonna wait and it's gonna finish. No, it's not. You're gonna have to freaking delete the file, re-upload the file completely, and yeah, I have figured out that usually I spend like a whole day sometimes just uploading content onto the channel because it's taking so damn long, and trying to upload like 3 videos or so at the same time might work, but might also cause the same issue for 2 out of the 3 videos. So yeah, I'm gonna see how my upload schedule will be and what I will be able to squeeze out. But other than that, this has been an extremely pleasant experience for me. Actually kind of impressed to see that I can learn from my mistakes and keep adjusting my playstyle, and therefore potentially bring in more entertaining content. So yeah, if you like what I do here, like I said, consider subscribing to the channel. I try to publish content on a weekly basis for all sorts of things, including playthroughs, tips and tricks, early in-game reviews, and discussions. And yeah, if I manage to put my laptop through the horrible stuff of trying to render a video with 8 gigs of RAM, well, yeah, I mean, I have seen some systems which had like 256 gigs of RAM or something, and I cannot even imagine what's the price tag for such system, or like how little rendering time does it require for a video. But yeah, this has been an extremely pleasant experience for me. I really hope that on the second season I'm gonna be even more efficient. I'm not really sure if I'm gonna try to go the second season again on the Red Planet. Maybe I'm gonna try to do the second season on the Ice Planet, and if I fail miserably, I'm gonna try to do the third season on the Mars planet, and I'll just see how it works out. Obviously, I'm always looking for some form of a challenge, so if you can recommend any form of a game which runs on a potato, I would really love to see that in the comment section. Obviously, I'm trying to do my own research, but in between working and doing 10 other things on a daily basis, it's kind of a difficult thing, especially since this is so far only a hobby for me and it's not my livelihood. Although I gotta admit, if I would be able to turn this into my livelihood, I would be one lucky son of a gun. So yeah, definitely let me know what you think of the overall first season. If you have any tips from your overall experience which you came across in your years of playing the game, if you were able to beat each of the planets and get all of the achievements, you have my eternal respect. I'm not gonna deny it. I mean, obviously, I tried to run some of the other planets. I died in like the second day, and I never tried it again. So we're gonna see how things turn out. But in the meantime, make sure to check out the channel for more fun stuff. And yeah, this is gonna be it for the Mars Planet Season 1. I'm gonna finish the series at the 20th episode. I'm more than impressed that I was able to get here. I'm more than impressed to see that the game is just keep on screwing me more and more at this point. But that might be due to some early in-game choices I have made. So I'm gonna try to maybe adjust the playstyle a little bit, see if something can be done. And we will see. We will see. And I will see you in the comments or at the next one. Thank you for watching the final episode of Planetbase Season 1 here on Not Your Professional Walkthroughs channel. If you managed to watch it until this point, wow. Because even I'm impressed with the horrible performance of mine. So yeah, definitely gonna see if I'm gonna be able to do something better. I'm gonna wish you a pleasant rest of the day. Hopefully, I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Why won't you land on the freaking colony? Or the guy, even if I speed up the time.